The first time this happened, I thought,
I hit my foot wrong. So I guess my format is I show you my latest workout video, which is usually the routine I did last night, and then I put my thoughts over it, and rarely does one have to do with the other. And if you guys like this, let me know. I mean, it's therapeutic as hell for me, man. I kind of go over my day's thoughts, and I put together things that have stuck out to me. And I just had something happen, and it just made me think. Well, there you go. There's today's topic. I'm driving for work, obviously, like I do daily. And I'm at a corner, and there was a homeless veteran, according to his sign, and he needed my help. He comes right up to my window, and he's staring at me. And, you know, hey, I got a few bucks laying around. I'll give it to you. You know what I mean? Like, I had help. But I don't have any money. I really don't. I don't carry cash normally. And I told him that. I was like, bro, I'm sorry, man. I don't have any cash. And he's like, you got something in there. And he just starts kind of railing on me. And I'm like, damn, dude. Like, you're not entitled to my stuff. I mean, I'm sorry I can't help you with anything, but good Lord. He's like, what do you got in your lunchbox? I got my lunch bag over here. My box. Wow. Okay. Look, I'll give you my food. If you're hungry, you can have what I have to eat. And I did. I gave him a couple things out of my lunchbox. But he was just being kind of indignant about it. And I thought, you know, just the entitlement of some people. And then it hit me. That just brings me back to what I wanted to talk about. On my online forum, a couple of guys that I'm working with online, we have a little chat group set up, and we just talk about stuff. And on there, they were talking about a lifter, and I don't know this person, but they were talking about how upset he gets when people outlift him, and that how he feels like he should be entitled to respect that the rest of us seem to get. Now, I don't know what respect I get or don't get, but I understand the sentiment. The sentiment is resentment. It's resentment of others, how you, you know, feel like you should get recognition for things you feel you've earned. Like, say you do a PR online and you hit a certain amount of weight, and maybe you don't get a lot of comments on it. And you go to another lifter's page, and he's got a bunch of comments, and everyone's telling him how awesome he is. And you're like, I can do that. Like, why does he get respect and I don't? You know, it's interesting. It's resentment's a tricky one, because it just poisons you. Harboring resentment against another person for something that you perceive them as having that you do not is absolutely poison. But here's the bottom line. The bottom line is, we're not owed anything. I'll tell you what. Born alone, you're going to die alone, and anything you do in the middle is a gift. I've gone through a lot of stuff, as have we all. Every single person I've talked to has a story, and mine is hardly unique. And I would be the first to admit that I have had a ton of help along the way. When I was at my lowest, I had really good people that popped into my life, and I've accepted help, and I wouldn't be where I'm at right now if it wasn't for the good people in my life who supported me through all of it. And to say I did it by myself would be an absolute lie. I did nothing by myself. If anything, all I did was what was right in front of me. You know, I saw a path and I took it. Look at construction, for example. Like, nobody chooses construction, but you can choose what you do with it. No, I took construction because it was available. You know, when I was at my lowest point and I had burned through some bridges, I was able to go to work, pushing a broom, riding a shovel, you know what I mean? And then, of course, along the way, if you get your crap together, you network and do a good job and show up on time, you start getting things like promotions and, you know, job offers, that kind of thing. But the bottom line is, the responsibility is still mine. I have to show up and I have to do the work. When I got sober, when I got off the streets, I accepted help. I went into a rehab. I went into a lot of rehabs, let me tell you. That's a whole other video. And I had tons of help. I did not do any of this by myself, but I still had to do the work, lifting weights. You know, a lot of these guys, they'll see me hit a lift, and I see the comments. They won't say them directly, but I see them how they're like, oh, he's just strong because he's on steroids or whatever. A lot of resentful comments. And again, I still had to do the work. Yeah, steroids help a ton. But they don't lift the weights for you. You know what I mean? The bottom line is, I don't know, I see life differently than a lot of people. I just don't look at what other people have and see how it's affecting me in any way whatsoever. You could be the strongest person in the world and you could be better at me in every conceivable category. And some people are. The guy that beat me at Worlds, I couldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole. And he's a stand-up guy. I love that dude. I consider him a friend. I don't resent him. I admire him. If anything, he pushed me to be a much better lifter. And on the day of the competition, when the people that were supposed to be my corner weren't there, he was. What would I have gotten if I would have just resented him? You know, I look at this guy and I'm thinking, God, how much gear is he on? He's on a ton of crap. You know, the bottom line is, I don't know. And it doesn't matter, because what he does or doesn't do does not affect what I have to do in any way, shape, or form. I still need to go do the work myself. You know, he might be an obstacle. And, you know, I'll be honest with you, there was a couple, like, for a couple of years now, I've been competing with him, and we've all been basically competing for second place. Always goes back to powerlifting. And I would be a liar if I didn't think to myself, man, what would it be like if he just dropped out this year? That would be really cool. But then, that really, really, really cheapens any kind of victory I would have, because in the back of my head, I'd be knowing that the only reason why I achieved something is because somebody else failed to show up. Oh, no, man. If anything, you gotta be okay with where you're at. And you can't look at what others are doing as well, you can use it as a parameter, a metric. I can look at another lifter and, you know, see that he's doing a lot better than me, and I can use that as a barometer to push myself. But I'm more interested in what he's doing. You know, what is that guy doing? Why is he so successful? And is there something I could be doing that he is that I'm not? That's the way I look at it. Anytime you harbor resentment, you're really being dismissive of another person's story. If you think about it, we have this tendency to see people, what they have, the situations they're in, and we think that they've always been like that. You know, you meet people and you just assume that's the way they are. Like, some people just have it good, some people just have it bad. But you really dismiss their story. How did they get there? What did they have to go through? You know, the trials, the tribulations, everything they had to endure. You just summed them up to one snapshot. You said, here's a guy that just doesn't deserve what he has, or I deserve what he has. That kind of thing. And it really just, it doesn't serve any purpose. It really doesn't. It just poisons you and makes you cynical, and it gives you a very negative outlook on life. It's hard to express any kind of gratitude when you're harboring resentment. And as a matter of fact, if you express gratitude, it's hard to be resentful. It's like they cancel each other out. So, where in my life have I been resentful of others? Cynical, negative. I'm sure it's happened. You know, well, it happened with the guy that keeps winning first place. I mean, none of us are immune to it. We're all just human. You know, we all fall short. Believe me. That's why they call them the 7 deadly sins. The bottom line is, at the end of the day, I feel like I want to celebrate the success of others instead of harbor resentment against them. And I think that if you took a little bit of personal inventory and looked at your accomplishments for what they are, you'd maybe didn't focus so much on what other people think about you, because you would be surprised. You might find that you've got it a lot better than you think you do. Most of us do, man. All I can tell you is, at the end of the day, that guy made me grateful. He made me remember where I came from, and he made me grateful for where I'm at today. And I hope his day turns out better. I really do. Love you guys. Oh, I almost forgot. If you guys like this stuff, let me know. I'll keep doing it. Throw me a subscription. Help me out. That'd be super helpful. Thanks.